Madume Bakhayechu. What time is it?
I'm not sure.
Is it Macheroni or Riperile? Not sure. Okay.
Afternoon though.
Afternoon, so Riperile. We don't know what the sunset is in Xhosa. We are back. The new handle is Ziko Likagogo Nomkhulu. So conversation replaced Ngeziko. Right.
Yes.
Gogo Sawubona. Mjani. So right, you were asking?
The significance of your beret.
Oh yes. It's May. We venerating a lot during May. Amongst others will be some guerrillas from Apla. So this beret speaks to Ipoko, Israel too. The land is ours. So I'm trying to at least look like I'm trying to get the land back. Once upon a time. So we are back, no Coco. Fun as usual, interesting topic. We are going to today be discussing mother wounds. Yes? Mother wounds, yes. So are we venerating who specifically are we venerating today, Coco?
On the 22nd,
yeah,
a young man called Luke Smart.
Oh yeah.
Gula passed in detention. He was the first. He was an ANC member and
Luke Smart good.
Yes. So my grandfather was a member of uGogo. So I'm a very, very proud because of my granddad.
And news of May Gertrude Chope?
Yes, she passed yesterday. She would have been 100 on the 25th of August.
I pick up she grew up in Zimbabwe.
She was also South African.
A struggle child.
Yeah, struggle child of the ANC.
Which is what puzzles me with South Africans. I mean, it's okay for South Africans to go live in other lands when it's not nice here at home, but Zimbabweans can come here when it's not nice over there. Mozambicans can't.
We're not taught our history.
Or it comes from not knowing where we come from.
Knowing the struggles of our revolutionaries. Knowing that other Africans still practiced Ubuntu in ensuring that South Africans found shelter
in other lands.
Africa was forever for Africans, regardless of boundaries.
It didn't matter what your surname was.
As long as you were a freedom fighter, other fighters
we will accommodate
made sure
you
that you had a home.
So South Africans, please.
To be re-educated on Ubuntu amongst Africans.
That's why Maponga says South Africans don't need the World Bank or USAID. We just need memory.
Yes.
That's it.
We need to understand and remember
who we are, where we come from. Hey, on that note, you know what? I don't know. It's a long one. If we open that one now, we're going to...
We won't finish.
Yeah, we won't.
Yes.
And Gogo, mother wounds.
Yes.
You're a mother, you have a mother.
Yes.
Are you a grand yet?
Not as yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay.
Not as yet.
Okay.
But I am a grandmother to my niece. My niece Umbali, my eldest sister's daughter. So I am.
You are a granny.
I am a
indirectly.
Indirectly. So
okay.
I am a granny.
You guys had a baby shower not so long ago, man. When is that one coming through? Asas. Okay. Gogo,
cool.
Your simplest description of a mother wound?
I would say mother wounds are generational.
Give us a baby description of what a mother wound is.
It's trauma.
Talk to me like
trauma.
I may know.
Unaddressed trauma.
From who to who?
From a mother, be it a mother-in-law or your biological mother.
Oh, no Mama Zala, they can give us mother wounds.
Yes.
As a makoti.
As a makoti.
Okay.
I'll be explaining as what I know from the little that I know of my... This is my great-grandmother, Umandlovu.
P, where's Mandlovu?
This is one. She's my...
Okay.
Wayendele kwabhadela. ngumntungwa
wayendele meaning wayetshathe phaa.
ewe kwabhadela
Siyathetha nyhani.
and ubhadela nomamntungwa baba nomntwana umakhulu wam,
Ubani lo?
my grandmother.
Yeah, khawumthonge phela.
Umakhulu
Khawumbonge.
Bhadelakazi. She would be, when she was missing a parent, she would say, Bamtungwa, calling her mom, or say, my great-grandfather. So, Bhadela.
And then they gave birth to
My grandmother, Wenda,
Kakade, Obungani,
Obungani.
Ongelengele. Mashobata.
So umakhulu wenda kwaRhadebe. Utamkhulu wam Poqo and my grandma and my mother uNomvula.
Oh mama.
That's my mother. uNomvula comes from a clan names kwaRhadebe. Kwalifu leMvula. Then my mother and my dad had me.
You.
Yes.
Intokazi.
I'm the last born amongst the girls at home.
Okay.
Yes.
How does a motherhood come about?
It's okay. Long time ago, we attended.
How do I get a motherhood as a child?
It becomes a difference of upbringing. It comes from attachment styles. It comes from a mother preferring one child over the other without understanding that the harm in one child being upheld over the other. One child, like me, I have detached or departed from the religious way of life.
Which religion?
I'm no longer Christian. I'm no longer Christian.
And religion embodies all Christianity,
so
all
I'm not Anglican.
You have dumped Christianity
completely.
Okay.
Utamkhulu, ukhokho, ubhadela, I believe they could have built a church emaXhoseni, eNcise.
Ikhaya had ibandla. Okay.
So her husband could have been
senior priest.
Could have been
senior pastor.
One of Unyana.
Or a bishop.
Unyana ka Mandlovu was Umshumayeli. My grandmother's brother, my grandfather. Then automatically the family grew up Christian.
Okay. And I'm hoping with your explanation we're going to get to a wound at some point.
Yes, we're going to get to the core.
Okay.
My mother would come from, I'm a different child to my siblings. I'm the only one who has embraced a spiritual calling, and it hurts my mother.
For you to embrace your calling.
The ancestral calling. She was not raised.
Ubulaphi bakho
Ubumina
is a problem ekhaya.
To her, I'm demonic. My ink is completely something that she never thought that her child would have.
Are you the only one with izipho ekhaya?
My elder sister is a priest.
Oh, mhlambe ubizwe ugogo lakhe la.
I'm not sure, but
angithi kwakhona iqhawe ekhaya.
It could have been as well.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Because sometimes, you see, the thing of a calling we misunderstand sometimes. A person can be called to continue ngeqhawa that we used to have ekhaya. If my father was a priest.
Yes.
More especially if lelo qhawa, lelo sondo, lelo bandla is one of those that we had in
the family.
We had conceived post
the breaking of the ancestral way of looking at life.
Yes.
Yeah. So my sister could be she could be called by
yes. So if your grandfather or your grandmother had ibandla post the Witchcrafts Act, highly likely in your nest ekhaya there will be a child obiziwe to carry on ngalelo bandla. So calling bathandwa it's not just ubunyanga or a calling to go play football or a calling to go sing. Yes, you can be called to continue ngebandla likamkhulu. You can be called to go resuscitate ubukhosi that we used to have a car. Remember, Amanyama Coast were run over by Infekane, by Verwood with his antiques and so forth. So, talk was in that. So, with the calling, you think, or maybe you know already,
It's a no way.
that Uma was not happy.
Not at all. Completely against it. with
So
all
from
her
there, a scuffle was born.
It's not even in my late years. It came, for me, I grew up different. My mother was a nurse. So I never ever look at her being away as a wound because she worked far. She was a nurse, 7 to 7, long hours.
Hardly had time no more.
For a black person to work, they had to leave home like 3 hours before they get to work.
Because you must catch a part call.
And then you must go
5
to training and things like that. Okay, I make Rumuba. She was never gonna be there given her work. It is in the inability for her to get that I was failing, not because I was dumb.
Is this now linked to your autism thing?
Yes, early on. It was like an early
But she was hardly home, so when you did your homework, she was
on
not
the
there.
days she would help me with my homework. She'll pass a comment that is hurtful, that kukhona okwaziyo. Like
It's not one of those comments you pass out of 10.
kukhona okwaziyo. Like for a child who is struggling with things. And this was maths. And I knew I'm good in maths. So get that, like you know, just it fractures your self-esteem that okay, and you stop going to her for help.
So one of the wounds came from some of the comments Uma would pass.
Say as early on in my life.
So you're saying that as parents today, we must be careful of what we say.
Words we say to our kids, because
to our children.
A word harms longer than it's said. It
So
stays longer.
it's gonna be simpler if but now. You probably get healed over the Mpama than
No.
okay,
no,
sorry.
No,
I retract leadership.
No. I think when I discuss my own mother wounds that I inflicted to my kids, it would be the physical harm.
Oh, now you think there came a point where you inflicted?
Of course.
Yes. Okay. Also, we actually we're gonna be here for some time here.
Depending how far it goes. So again, I was mindful of not saying harmful words to my kids, and with my son.
Okay, before we come to Kwako,
yes,
I want us to wrap up Ekaya.
Okay.
You would say Ekaya, things that Uma would say without considering. You would say
her parenting of my sisters was different. I'm the youngest.
Do you think she could have been picky?
She would have. She has a preference over one over the other.
She would pick
for something that two older sisters will do. One will receive a different treatment. And you pay attention to say, yeah, there's a different way of her parenting.
Okay.
And that causes to an observing child that
so far I'm
there's
sitting
no
at 3.
consistency in how she's parenting.
I'm sitting at 3. Things we said as a parent, when you took your calling, it was difficult for her to accept. 3, the practice of preferring one child over the other.
You see, with my calling, as a child, I need a healer. And I don't allocate any harm to my mother because she was never there when I used to get sick.
Yeah.
My father will always be there. He'll be the one to make sure that I go to uGogo that was taking care of me. I'm not sure as parents did they discuss that sineganela egulayo edinga isango, but she knew I was taking herbs for whatever that was wrong with me. So
she was never involved.
She was never involved in making sure that when I was out of my herbs, I went for my refills. Ubaba would be the one to make sure that Gogo, before ugule, make sure uya kuGogo manzuza to help you with your headaches and things like that. Would
you say that mama that worked long hours and are hardly at home, in some way they could inflict some form of hurt in the kids?
No, it's work. I can never allocate her. It's her job. She had to provide.
So work is fine.
No, when you understand apartheid and women working far from home, you live in a location, you need to be up 3 hours before you leave, things like that. It would be impossible, illogical to say she was not there because she was working.
Inconsiderate as well.
So I could never allocate that.
let me take you up a bit.
Okay.
When you follow umlando, a little history yasekhaya, when you study relations between uma no ma wakhe, and perhaps between umakhulu no ma wakhe, are you picking up anything that could perhaps maybe say you link to uma's behaviors towards you?
Generational. Umama, my grandmother used to call her umama. She had a very harsh.
She was harsh.
A harsh tongue. Harsh tongue.
I'm already picking up something, but Kubeka?
A harsh tongue.
Yes.
So that could have been what Uma believed parenting. Discipline was harsh, like you break a child.
Yeah, I come from a house where my mom didn't have words. She would just grab a shoe and throw at you, or, you know. Okay. She was very didn't have words. Why not to run or anything like that?
She would just grab and throw.
Yeah.
So what I know is that Umandlovu, Umtungwa, from a speech of her first grandson, okay. So I would not know about how did she internalize that pain.
So umakhulu no tamkhulu kwakukhona ukushawana pha.
Umalume lo mdala uthi
said something along those lines.
Babebethwa ngisabhokhwe.
Umakhulu. Would you then say, okay, I'm a mediator already, in trying to explain mama no mamkhulu's behaviors, could the GBV then perhaps, maybe, I don't know, birthed
the
harshness towards ingane, umakhulu's harshness maybe came out kuma, uma transferred kuwe? Would you?
Probabilities are hard.
It's there.
Yeah,
okay.
The one factor of a motherhood for my grandmother would have come from Ukhatebe's mother. Ukhatebe's mom, my great-grandmother, Ubelekazi, she also had a preference from one son over the other.
Now she picked one child over the other. So I'm already picking up two things, Kuma. There was one parent that picked kids over the other, or preferred umakhulu, right? There was harshness on the tongue upstream.
Yes.
Okay. So you are now silently saying, silently or aloud,
loudly,
motherhoods can be transferred.
They are generational.
They can go downstream.
Yes. So then Ubelekazi, I would think my grandfather, if he was here, he would say, but I had a motherhood because I was not the son that my mother had the warmest fuzzy feelings for.
Okay.
And she my mother would be required to tend to her cousin sister.
She was
from the son that was liked.
Oh man. She became the nanny.
Not a nanny, but whatever.
Yeah.
I won't use the word
you
nanny.
Become a helper.
I won't use, I don't know.
Au pair? She was not au pair.
There was no way to
she was a nanny. Because then she became a nanny to her cousins.
I do not know the cracks, but when you hear the story, just think about, okay, so that this was something that was already in the fiber of Umakhuboni, where her elder son's daughters were preferred over my mother because they came from a son that had the least fuzzy feelings for. So then it becomes how my grandmother raised her kids when one must be preferred over the other. Umama learned that. It's a learned behavior.
It's gifted. It's handed down.
Yes. It's generational.
Yeah, you suckle it off the breast. We nela ebeleni. Yeah. So what I'm hearing uGogo saying, already there are three things. Ukubethwa komama. So the GBV at home could stress umama, and she could end up taking it out kwingane. 1, 2, a sharp tongue, right? 3, picking or preferring one child over the other. I don't know what the reasoning could be, maybe the other one, maybe the other child is well behaved. I mean, I'm not saying you are not
Could
well
be
behaved.
academically stronger than
Academically
the
strong.
Deemed, actually, not even.
Yeah,
Deemed
yeah.
better than.
Could be whatever
based on-
reason.
Yeah, whatever
so,
reason.
So those could be the possible reasoning behind mama hurting a child consciously or subconsciously. That's ending up with a mother wound. And a second strong point I'm hearing from uGogo is a mother wound can be transferred down a stream. It is a flowing river. You can hand it down to your children. Gogo.
Cool. When I was two.
I want to go now. I want to now come to you.
Yes.
In your house, you've got two in your nest.
Yes.
Do you think you have inflicted any mother wounds?
Of course I
Kwaku?
have.
Let us in, please.
Yes,
Kwaku,
I have.
what do you think you did wrong or right?
I would look at my wrongs.
Let's focus on the wrongs.
Yeah,
yes.
I was very, very harsh in the display of my son.
You weren't bad.
Harshly. Like,
I'm man.
it's something that, as much as I've apologized, there's a change in behavior.
You have noted it and repented and apologized.
But I need him to know that it was never your fault.
You were hurt now.
I never want to excuse it. Explain it, never excuse
You're not explaining it away in any way.
It just, but Naza, I harmed you as a child.
Shame.
I should have said to you, explain your behavior. Why are you behaving like this? Contrary to what I asked you to do. Instead of smacking. And you have a child who's observing the behavior and the one is receiving the behavior. So both the kids get to be harmed in various ways.
So in your assessment, you might have been a little harsh on the son.
Not in my assessment, I was.
You were?
Yes, I
well,
was.
it's an assessment.
No.
You're giving us a report.
Parents need to learn to own up and not soft.
That I've done wrong.
I've done wrong. And
I've harmed my child.
Learn to apologize and back up the apology with never do it again.
Changed behavior.
A complete change in behavior.
Yes.
See, with my son, with therapy, he goes to a point where like, Ma, you've changed.
Has he come and said, Ma, I've noticed a lot of change?
Yes, and they become, okay. I'm changing, and Mkulu, my transforming came in my 30s. I met this phenomenal man. I would be doing a disservice if I never honor the person that made me become, or the person I am today.
Helped you find yourself.
Yes. The guy will ask me about Stella, why was you
Smamela?
Why was Kuluma?
You can drop names if you want.
No, I can't be dropping people's names, but
okay.
No, it's why are you like this? Why did you stay in a bad marriage? And be like, damn, I never thought of why did I sit in the worst of the unhealthiest marriages? And I'll write it down. And why aren't you speaking to me? Why can't you articulate your pain? I didn't know how to articulate my pain. I had not sat with myself
and took stock
and said to myself, damn, let's focus on your dysfunction. When did you start becoming someone that you were not meant to become? My mother comes from a culture yokubekezela.
Oh, my cool. All of our mothers.
Yeah, and I don't truly understand.
I don't think any of our mothers stayed in their marriages because it was fun. It was a culture to stay in the marriage.
Stay no matter how hard it was, no matter how self-destroying it was.
I'm not saying there were never good marriages. There were good ones. They were the baddest ones. But we come from a culture, Yogu.
And I had a dad who, before he passed, he said to us as his girls, ningahlali emtshatweni orongo because it kills you on the inside. And I stayed for the longest time appeasing my mother because my mother comes from shame. She is one who embraces shame over reality. But Ustela is depressed.
Yes.
Ustela is unhappy. Ustela is missing from her own existence.
Auko, you're playing other people's roles. You're absent in your own life.
And if you are in a depressive marriage, you can't be a healthy mother. And I think for me...
I've got a very important question there.
Yes.
I'm hearing you saying something, but I won't be sure.
Yes.
In the marriage that was bad,
yes,
you were part of the bad.
What does it mean in my simple English?
In the marriage,
yes,
Was the marriage bad because ubaba wayephuza kakhulu, wayekushaya, wayengekho ekhaya, wayengondli ingane, it's a combination of a couple of things.
Yes.
Did you contribute to the bad, would you say, at all? No, I don't know.
It takes two to take.
Takes
it
two.
takes two to fall for a marriage to fall apart.
My direct question.
Yes.
Could you, in the bad marriage, trace any contribution of the mother wounds? That's the question I want to ask.
Becomes my mother comes
the part becomes the mother wound.
Yes, that if I divorce,
man.
my mother will be embarrassed. And she's
know.
still embarrassed today, to this day.
To this day, she's embarrassed.
She's embarrassed because she can't say to anyone that Ustela is divorced.
Can I reason for all Africans here?
Yes.
We are all hurt when umshado.
I get that, but however,
I'm just reasoning from all Africans, not in mass defense or anything.
However, it's healthier for a mother or a father to be healthy.
To notice that I
can never uphold uklala emendweni.
That's not healthy.
Because for the kids, because I'm passing on more dysfunction.
You are handing down more dysfunction.
Your kids witness you unhappy, impatient. You know, when I say my divorce, bettered or reconnected me to my mission on earth.
Your divorce gave birth to you.
You forget life.
Because you are in the contract. That's bad.
It's not something that Africans should have upheld, a virtue.
I'm going to be on the fence here, and you must understand where my fence comes from.
Yes.
As an African, I've already explained that we don't have divorce in our other episodes. And yes, we are shattered when umshado does not make it. So I am for us trying our level best to find ways to sustain marriages, right? I am also for people living healthy. So as a result, I'm also saying a marriage that is not healthy and you've tried all these things to see, listen, I'm making this marriage work. I'm trying a social worker. I'm trying a psychologist. I'm trying a marriage coach. I'm trying this, new sex styles, new fashion. I don't know, that, the other. And Lomchato is just not coming all right. You have tried it all. Give it a break.
I love marriage. I love the concept.
Because marriages are beautiful.
Yes, I honor the concept of marriage as long as it's healthy. My mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law, she had what truly made me believe that it was not going to work. I think in one of our episodes we spoke about Abalanjwan.
Omlanjwan.
Yes, where
these are now illegitimate children. The
kids of the sister must be given preference over his kids.
Who says that?
The mother-in-law.
That's
hold on.
Okay.
You raise, I think another topic is how we as mothers raise our sons.
Yes.
How we raise our sons.
I will not sit here, Gogo, and say, as a malume ekhaya.
Yes.
And a married man with multiple children.
Yes.
That my nieces take preference over my children. Where have you ever had that?
So, but if you are raised with that belief,
no, who says that?
To clothe your own kids. Pause for me.
You can't have that.
So, no. That's the upbringing he comes from.
And then abake?
My brothers and my sisters. And I'm not coming from an upbringing where that was a reality in my life.
Okay, you just introduced what I would call a new mother wound. And I'm petty, and I know these jokes making rounds that bomma, you know, Renaga Good Friday, we pack the N1, Robana bomma. It is not tradition, it's not culture, it's not anything that my sister's children take preference over mine.
Yes. Yes.
No. Let's correct it. I'm going to correct it now, and I'm going to place it on record. And it's going to be once and for all. My children that are mine take preference over my resources. When I've got change left, my nieces and nephews then can suckle something, can get something. When there's something left after me honoring my responsibilities towards my children that I've birthed, there's nowhere in this continent where you come across what you just told us.
So when you said that,
that's just defunct.
No, you said in one of the episodes that umchakazi umolokazana must have an understanding of the kids already that I'm finding in the husband's home.
They're my nieces.
Yes.
Okay. You misunderstood me.
Can I please speak?
Okay.
Majority of marriages are failing because of such responsibility.
I am looking after my nieces.
Like imali ayikho and le ekhona kumele iqale lapha na poison.
No. Okay. That was a misunderstanding. No.
I'm sure I misunderstood.
Yes. So, umalume is the interim father yabo mlanjwa. That statement does not say that mina kwami I don't look after my... No, guys. If you also heard me say that, I retract that statement now. What I'm saying is that yes, in the interim, you're a father to your nieces and nephews. After you've after you were a father, after you've honored all your responsibility towards your own children's kwakho.
Your voice needs to go down.
But that's... No, it needs to be clear.
You can be clear and still speak with a tone.
Okay.
Calm it down.
No. What I'm saying is, you are all Mlanjwana's father after you have done your duties towards your children. So that needs to be clear. If there's a mother out there, I think, that says to their son that they have got a responsibility to their nieces and their nephews
first, as priority.
As priority before he comes to his own. No, that mother is passing other mother wounds. That I was not aware of.
Okay.
Yes.
So then it becomes a financial stress from the mother. One X is required for this child to be educated. It's like la envy. I'm a single mother whilst I'm married, and that marriage was never going to work. It was never going to work. So
yeah,
the term yokbekezela, when you cannot go home and say
that the marriage didn't work.
It didn't work based on the following things.
You just explain. Sometimes when you show up in Mitwalo, as a mama must just accept you because you've come back.
But my mother was not the kind of mother. My elder sister she's also divorced. My mother would be embarrassed by her coming home when her husband would be hitting her. And I'd be like...
So there was GBV.
Yes, we think about...
But she must take the GBV.
But then, you see, what kind of a mother would be embarrassed by your daughter seeking refuge at home? And you think about, did your mother do the same thing to you? Did her mother do the same thing to you? Did you observe this behavior as an embarrassment that askwazi ukubekezela? So those becomes things that you struggle with. I have a mother who does not have a heart to understand that such things are not healthy to be maintained in a marriage.
Okay.
Then you remember that ubaba wathi kuthina as his girls ningahlali
emishadweni ingasebenzi.
Yes. So my freeing myself was, I had my father's approval to divorce, and I did do it because
to live.
I needed to be healthy for my kids.
Yes.
I needed
because a healthy you comes first.
Yes. If you're missing from your own existence as a mother, your kids, they get a fragment of a functioning parent. Okay. And we need to stop passing trauma, normalizing dysfunction as we celebrate people who stay in marriages for the longest time, but they're empty on the inside.
We celebrate the 30 years.
But
disregarding...
you died 5 years ago. You just keep adding the years, but there's no life.
Abanye, they didn't even enjoy them. Even if it's like 30 and you say the marriage, the love died 5 years ago. Remember those marriages we have, Coco, where they were arranged. You were told that you're Chatagwa Malume. it's long done, it's been discussed. You've got no recourse. Pakisha, yahamba, yagoduka.
You see, I'm thankful for my kind of dad. My dad would have never allowed such. I'm not gonna call it my dad. My dad was fill your own cup, be happy.
Here's a question I have, Coco.
Yes.
I'm a friend of yours, or I'm your boyfriend.
Yes.
Is there a way of spotting mother wounds from a person's behaviors and things?
No.
Are there symptoms? Are there signs?
Up until you speak, no one will ever know.
Okay.
There's no way of identifying that this child is carrying a mother wound or a father wound. There's father wounds and mother wounds, depending how your father raised you, the attachment to
what
it.
he did to you.
Yes.
Or didn't do for
Or
you.
if a daughter doesn't get along with her mother, you just think, okay, what happened? No, I don't have a relationship with my mother. Let's go back. What happened?
On that note, before I interject, Coco, you only told us about Unyan Unfan.
No, I said my daughter was observing to my behavior. That is also a harm.
You also harmed her in that regard.
By her observing that
you,
the way I'm disciplining my son, it
was a harm.
It's a harm. The fact that I never hit her.
How's the relationship now between when and Dotagas?
We had a great relationship for the longest time. Then things happened between us.
Anything you could link to mother wounds? Nothing. No.
She believes I harmed her. I believed I cannot handle someone exposing me to my sensory issues.
Okay.
If I say I have the following sensory issues, and you continue intentionally.
And now talking about those things you mentioned, autism episode. Okay.
And you're
like
not
both
willing,
noise, both smells, and other things.
And you intentionally pushed every button for me to lose it, and I go into a shutdown. Once I'm in my shutdown, when I come out of my shutdown, I'm a different person.
You destroy things.
I don't destroy things. I go inside
You're not the besting type.
To hurt. You know, Mkhulu, you asked my psychiatrist. Said something when I first met her. You were married? You even had kids? Autistic people don't have. I was like, okay, I'll read about this. Every time I went to see her, I was in a downfall, in a sky. You know, when you are like, everything's falling apart.
Downward spiral.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, let me document what you said. I'll read about it so that I'm feeling better. In my marriage, you start going crazy. You plan, things don't work out, you go crazy, and I was very, very physical. And you move away from that, you appeal and you try this and you try that, nothing works. Final stage for me was shut down. In a good year, for 11 months, I won't be speaking to my ex-husband.
You now with the daughter?
No, my ex-husband.
Yeah.
For 11 months in a year, I would be in a complete shutdown.
And you are still husband and wife?
Yeah, but we're no longer talking.
You stay together?
We live together.
That marriage is literally gone, but you are
in different bedrooms.
You are cohabiting.
We are in different bedrooms, and you just go into a complete
a lot of
shutdown.
marriages are there way before they break down.
So by the time a woman gets divorced, she's went through her trauma of the marriage ending.
So she's moved on.
You've
so
made
probably
peace.
by the time we hear about it, it's long gone.
You've made peace. You've made peace that it's not working and these are the reasons. Okay. When she said that autistic women don't get married because we don't have our tolerance for things needs to happen like this. Over the years, things don't happen. You just stop. You go into a shutdown. So with my daughter, she will do things that hurts, and you keep expecting, Alwanda, please stop doing this. Please stop doing this. And she does them over and over again. You just think, I'm depressed. I'm leaving my work.
It reaches the tipping point.
And you go inside. You go inside.
Okay,
So my mother wounds for my kids is there was an observing child who saw the crazy of my disciplining my son.
There was a receiving one
and
there was the one observing. Okay.
The observing one will internalize it in her own way. The receiving one, then there must be therapy.
So you have got you after what you've taken us through, and then now at the daughter, you have multiple cross generationals.
Yes.
Yeah.
So And I could say for mine, I'll explain. I apologize. They witnessed my changes, my transformation. They got to have a glimpse of my healthy,
A healthy you.
a healthy me. So when you come out of your dysfunction, I call it my LinkedIn, reconciling my dysfunction. So when you come out of that dysfunction, you are in a rebirthing of a new you. And they get to see that, okay, Uma shame, uyazama, Uma, you know, they have memories, healthy memories of.
What I like is the feedback and from the kids themselves.
Yeah. So without that change in behavior and like you need to apologize to your kids.
You have to.
You need to take accountability that my kid, I harmed you, and I'm taking accountability. I know I did 1 and 2 and 3 to you, and I know it has changed you. Just remember, it had nothing to do with you as a person. I needed you as a mirror to fix me, and I'm sorry that I harmed you. I think that is the one take that parents must do: apologize and change, and not say
you can't just apologize and keep.
It's manipulative.
It's manipulative, yeah.
And you cannot not change.
Gogo, thank you for that. That was a mouthful.
Yes.
Your best advice on how do we deal with mother wounds? You've just given me a small of it as a person that was dispensing the harm. As the recipient of the harm, what would be your best advice to people that believe they are walking around with mother wounds? How do they tackle this? How do they repair? How do they heal?
What we do not fix, we repeat.
What we don't fix,
we repeat.
We repeat.
When a parent is not able to say, I know I did this to you, and they become defensive, and they rally another sibling to come into the party and say you're wrong, there's no
gang
repair.
up on you.
Yes. There is no fixing because I'm an adult. I am allowed to own my life and live it my way. I know that being a spiritual person, being under isithunywa utakuhadebe, wearing ibayi, it harms my mother. It harms my elder sisters because they are Christians. I'm not allowed to have rituals at home. I have new rules that I'm not allowed to have rituals, they're demonic. And I'm thinking to myself, all of these things are not for me only.
Ask next time you are with your elders, that's a pastor or priest, ask her to check if what she's doing now, Ubu Shumaeli, is not Ubizo in itself from La.
I would think it comes from the upstream.
But did she check?
Why would she go there though?
Just to know. Because then the moment you know, you start to do it the way it must be done. Do you understand?
But she's not into ancestral things.
You don't have to be. Like,
okay, I'm against religion. I can say to you, I've read the following professor saying that there's never been a man who walked this earth as Jesus Christ. There is no religion. Religion is a tool of the white supremacy.
We're not there.
No, that's where I am.
I'm talking about maybe Usisi.
Yes.
Is a new Shembe. Ushembe is cold. Lekhanyani is cold, right?
Yes.
Mkhambe Usisi.
Yes.
Is the next Mek Christina Ngu. Just ask her. Anyway.
Okay. Hopefully
nonetheless,
she will view this and she'll watch and she'll process it. But Christian Anglican priests are not linked to anything ancestral. Ume Christina.
That's where it will help.
Mary Christina was a water healer.
Yes. Then one has to.
Yes. So there's no Tunywa as a Sondwing.
What do you mean?
Tunywa is the way we understand is Tunywa and Christian priest. Yeah, but they have a calling to heal.
Yes.
Okay.
Just have the conversation. Okay. You'll be interested. It will be interesting what you find out. Okay. So I'm gonna give you the mic to close it for us, and I'm hoping you're gonna leave us with pointers. And this is just your opinions on how, if I believe I'm carrying mother wounds, or maybe I'm affecting mother wounds to my kids as a mom. What would be the best recourse as the child that received mother wounds, as a mother that dispensed mother wounds? In closing, it's understanding where did they come from. Hence why I've always say that I use the accounting equation. Yeah, we're back at the opening balance.
Who in my lineage had the following beliefs of one child over the other? And I believe umkoka.
So you track it upstream.
Yes, it's not just with my mother, not her mother. It came from somewhere up there.
It comes from somewhere.
A personality of the family.
It's a river flowing downstream.
And for me, it becomes umkoka that needs to be closed by a ritual. It requires healing, requires honesty.
So you reckon the family must come around together?
A family constellation.
And discuss it maybe through a constellation.
Family constellation. Healing requires honesty. You cannot heal if
you can't heal the moment.
If you are defensive, you are holding on that the Bible says you must respect your mother and your father. You are not seeing how all of that is further harming the child, because you're not able to say ngiyavuma. Izenzo zami amazwi ami akubulele ngaphakathi. And ngiyaqonda ukuthi why ungafuna ukuba nami. So if you're gonna start using religion as the reason, you can't say
you have lost it all.
You keep harming the child by reiterating
that these are my reasons.
Yes.
You've harmed me.
You harmed me. You have harmed me, and change of behavior and accountability. If you can't account to say, my behavior was completely harsh and called for, you didn't deserve this. As of this day going forward, you are gonna witness a new mother. You are gonna you're gonna damn if you cannot own that up to yourself as the dispensing mother, you're gonna have a child who will not wanna come home. I think in December I met this young lady. She also carries mother womb. She doesn't go home. So when you asking me what are the why don't you go home? No, I don't get along with my mother. What happened? My mother prefers one child over the other. She was not there for me. And it just becomes okay. It becomes easier for me.
Avoiding going home, it could be one of the symptoms.
But when you dig in, let's reconcile.
You can point a finger.
Let's reconcile the behavior. Tell me more. So my trauma therapy is about, let's reconcile. Where did it come from? Let's identify the root cause. Let's find the first ancestor that had these behaviors.
Because he gave it to Uma gave it to me.
It's been passed down
from
generation to generation.
To mine.
So to me it becomes umkhokha, and umkhokha uyavalwa, and iqiniso must be spoken, and people must be accountable. Don't use the Bible as your defense mechanism, because if a child says you harmed me, don't quote verses where it's your responsibility to honor me, you must respect me, it's fitting to the Lord. There's no Lord who loves harming the other person. Broken people.
No. Gogo. Singabashaya abantwana.
No, not at all. You know, Mkhulu, when my unlearning started with slavery. And the amount of beatings slave masters would dispense on a black body.
You think they've done enough?
And if we become, I know at times it becomes, why are you doing this? And the fact that it comes is a shoe or ipam or whatever. Saying to yourself, I am not going to teach my kids physical abuse. It's going to end with me. I'm going to give myself a 5-minute break. I'm going to go for a walk. When I come back, write me a letter.
So you think the naughty corner works?
Write me a letter, explain your behavior.
So the naughty corner thing works?
I don't want the naughty corner. Write your behavior.
Explain to me.
Explain your behavior. Let me make sense of what you're doing.
Yes. Let's discuss it. Hold you accountable.
Okay. Then you start taking away privileges. If you have a cell phone for 1 week,
we take it away.
Up until I see that letter.
The Xbox is off for the next month. You're not going.
Your allowance, whatever, but move away from hitting kids.
So
it's like
sanctions. You're Donald Trump now. Sizokusanction la. Angeke sakushaya.
You are one crazy, hey?
Okay, so bafowethu, we are closing it, and here is what the conversation is about. There are many of us today walking around with mother wounds, and they come
Father
out
wounds as well. It's just not the mother and the father.
I'll explain the fathers
Okay.
the other day.
Okay.
There's many of us walking around with mother wounds, and they come out in our behaviors, they come out in our relations with people, they come out in our working environments, they come out in our marriages. And the long and short of it is that we are bad company or bad friends or bad employees, bad whatever, bad spouses because of mother wounds. Mother wounds are a factor in our life. Try assess if you're not walking around with any. And if you suspect that some of the things uGogo has indulged us on today sound like some of the things you've seen yourself do or say, do a bit of check and attend to your mother wounds. If you were the mother dispensing, please go back to your child, address that with the child. If you're a child and you think you're just walking around with a mother wound, you can also initiate a discussion with the mom. Ma,
you exposed me to this and it harmed you like this.
Have a discussion.
And be willing to listen.
Yes.
Be willing to listen.
As a mom.
As a mother.
Yes.
To say, like, no, don't be defensive.
Yeah.
Do not, you should forget by now.
Yes.
It happened a long time ago.
Yeah, no. That
Get
over it thing doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
No.
It stays with you up until
the child carries it
forever.
Into their next marriage. He's gonna break his own children. They're gonna,
Yeah.
So
You
please,
do better when you know better.
you do better when you know better. So mother wounds are a thing.
We apply Maya
Pay
Angelou.
attention. What did Maya say?
They do better. When you know better, you do better.
Ah, yes. Do you know my other favorite Maya Angelou phrase?
Which one?
Magni. Anyway, that's how we close it.
You still right. I was expecting that. Wow, okay.
Thank you for the interactions, for the patronage. Iziko likaGogo nomkhulu. That translates to the fire pit kaGogo nomkhulu. Sithokoze for the patronage. Sithokoze Gogo for the knowledge. And we applaud the initiative for
the healing. Our healing
because
is just not
one
about...
person heals and they apply the healing around
Yes.
them. And that's how, as a nation,
we heal. One person at a time.
Yeah.
And honesty.
Honesty.
Without honesty, there's no healing.
There's no healing.
Stop us.
Whew, yeah.